Guys, and welcome back. If you are new to the channel, please do me a favor, subscribe, like the video. It helps the channel grow and it helps me bring more interesting statistics and discuss about interesting topics, as hopefully the one for today, on the young people budget strains. So, young people face severe budget strains today due to surging living expenses, high housing costs, and mounting debt, especially credit card debt. Many live maybe paycheck to paycheck, trying to afford basic necessities, which frequently takes a heavy toll on their mental health while trying to make the strings meet. So, if we go into an interesting article I found from the University of Bath, the Managing Financial Strain Budgeting Tips for Student Well-being, it appears to be geared towards students, but I think it is also good for young people just starting their careers or living on minimum wage or close to that. So, some tips for managing the financial strains. Um, as it's said in the article, the psychology student Theodore shares her budgeting tips. First of all, and beside of the article, what I always recommend, and I've seen most financial educators recommend, is always create a budget. And you can do that as it's recommended here in the article by downloading a finance app or simply as I do it because I'm old school in Excel. So just it shouldn't be a big deal. Um, you know the total of your pay and then you split it per categories. And as Dave Ramsey says it, every dollar has a mission. Then you assign every bit of your paycheck a mission. And it shouldn't be ideally, of course. We're speaking ideally because not everyone can afford. It shouldn't be all spending. It should be um, some saving and investing as well. So if we go into the core issues, the cost of living, we've spoken about this in many videos. Persistent inflations means essentials like groceries, utilities, transportation, housing. They eat the vast majority of income, especially for young people. The housing burdens in particular, because rent continues to weigh heavily on young earners, serving as a primary roadblock to saving and financial independence. So, no matter if you are a student or a young graduate, as long as you're not staying with your parents, or maybe you are not fortunate enough to inherit a house, but then why are you watching this video? Just kidding. So for regular people, housing is a problem. Either renting or trying to buy one if they can afford it. So paying mortgage, it's increasingly more and more difficult. So most of us feel like we are priced out of the market. Then social spending, because yeah, we are human and we need to spend, or we'd like to spend also on dining, socializing, travel, events, and this is sometimes sacrificing financial goals just to maintain the social connections. And of course, last but not least, the mental health impact. Because financial anxiety and stress levels are especially high among young demographics, leading to a negative cycle where financial strain fuel the feelings of uncertainty about the future. Going back to the budget, so once you create a budget, either by downloading the finance app, and there are a lot of them nowadays, or just by simply using Excel as I do, just make a budget, either weekly or monthly, depending when you get paid. I get paid monthly, so I do it on a monthly basis. But this is, of course, as they put it, the key to understand your financial situation and making sure you don't overspend, because then you need you know basically where the money is going. And then if you see that maybe you've overspent on one category in the beginning of the month or the beginning of the week, depending how you tackle it, then you can adjust the spending for the remainder of that period and try to balance it out. So, some actionable budgeting strategies. Many young people take a proactive approach to navigate this economic reality by adapting this strategy. And the most popular framework is this 50-30-20 rule. Of course, my criticism on that is it is geared mostly towards people with better income, that they have advanced in their career, that they have a stable income, of course, more than the minimum wage or close to that. Because the 50-30-20 rule, it's basically saying that 50% of your paycheck should go for needs, like rent or mortgage, groceries, insurance, utilities. Then 30% would go for wants, like discretionary lifestyle spending, entertainment, social outings, and such. And then 20% goes into saving and debt and charity. So emergency funds, retirement, paying down loans faster, supporting your church or the charity of your choosing. So, going again in the article, some tips. Maybe walk instead of taking the bus. That depends on where we live. So, in my city, I live in Europe. The bus is generally cheap, so it's definitely recommended you take the bus instead of driving. Of course, if you can walk, if the distance is small, then by all means to walk. It's also good for your health. But just saying that this doesn't always apply, because if the public transportation fee is very, very cheap, or let's say part of it supported by the authorities, then it's not really a lot of savings you can do. Next one is definitely pretty good. Think twice before making a purchase. Because advertisers and commercial actors just focus on that you just see it and you want it, and then you feel that need for instant gratification. Some experts say maybe sleep on it, maybe take 24 years, and then if you still want to make that purchase, do it, but don't buy it on the spot, on the, let's say, on that drive to purchase something. Uh, and yeah, this is definitely recommended a lot. Like they're saying here, an obvious tip, but something we often forget. That's the case. I do it myself sometimes, and then I realize, okay, I really didn't need that, and it was just an impulse buy. Then yeah, just go on to university resource. They are recommending the resource, of course, which are definitely worth checking and interesting. I also recommend a few books just to get started on your financial education if you haven't started already. One of my favorites is The Richest Man in Babylon. It's like a short collection of stories which was written probably a century ago, but it's written in a way that appears to be written in ancient Babylon, and basically shows you that the main rules of money haven't really changed. So paying yourself first, putting part of your income towards your goals instead of just spending everything. So some resources of relief, as they say it, there are pretty many on the internet. You can choose the one that you want. It could be, as I've said, as simple as an Excel. It can be as complex of an app as you want it to be. We'll spend some additional time in the next videos to go into some, let's say, more complex, mm, let's say sayings like, for example, we'll discuss the rent trap. I got some questions about that. So if rent prices have outpaced the entry level salary growth for over a decade, then how can you rent? Is it better maybe to stay at home? It is better to share. It is better to maybe move to a cheaper area if you have the options. So different ideas we can explore. Then we'll revisit the student debt burden and so on. But again, please do me a favor, guys, like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.